Welcome back, Coinology. The story of the 1970 D1 cent coin begins in a way that almost feels impossible to believe, because hidden inside the pocket change of millions of people, buried inside old jars, drawers, toolboxes, and forgotten piggy banks, lies a piece of American history that collectors still whisper about today, a coin minted in Denver during a time when the world was changing, when the United States stood on the edge of cultural transformation, and when even the smallest coin in the nation carried secrets that would only be discovered decades later by determined numismatists, treasure hunters, and everyday people who accidentally stumbled upon something far more valuable than they ever imagined, something that today, in the dazzling world of high-end auctions and elite coin trading circles, can reach unbelievable figures like $197 million, a number so extraordinary that it echoes throughout online forums, coin clubs, and collector groups. With the power of a legend revived again and again as new stories emerge of rare variations and minting mysteries tied to the humble but historic 1970 D Lincoln penny. The beauty of this coin begins with its design, a design that connects generations of Americans, created by Victor David Brenner, an artist whose initials VDB once sparked controversy but eventually became a symbol of craftsmanship and national pride, a reminder that even the smallest artistic work can outlive the eras that created it. And the 1970 D penny carries that same iconic design, with the sharply defined portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, a portrait that captures not only Lincoln's dignity but also his struggle, his leadership, and his legacy. Brenner crafted Lincoln's profile with such depth and realism that, even on worn coins, you can still feel the solemn expression, the determination in his eyes, the soft flow of his beard, the shadowing of his jawline, all carefully sculpted into bronze and preserved through time. On the right side sits the mint mark D, which stands for Denver, the powerful symbol of the minting facility responsible for producing billions of coins each year, each marked with this tiny but meaningful character. This mint mark, though small and often overlooked by people using the coin for everyday transactions, becomes a crucial identifier for collectors, because the location of minting determines rarity, population numbers, strike style, die varieties, and even strange errors that later transform an ordinary penny into a centerpiece of a coin collection worth life-changing money. The 1970 D penny is officially made of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin combined, a classic bronze alloy used for Lincoln cents for decades, giving the coin its warm, reddish tone that deepens into dark chocolate brown as it ages naturally in circulation. The weight of the coin is officially 3.11 grams, a detail easy to ignore but extremely important when it comes to detecting rare planchet errors, off-metal strikes, or anomalies that escape quality control at the Denver Mint. The diameter is 19.05 millimeters, the thickness a little over 1.5 millimeters, and the rim carries the subtle raised border that maintains the integrity of the design, and this simple structure, repeated billions of times, is exactly what makes rare variants so magical, because out of countless perfect strikes, only a tiny handful slip into the world with characteristics so unusual that collectors will pay fortunes for them, sometimes spending hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars for a single piece that looks, to the untrained eye, exactly like every other penny. The reverse side, the famous Lincoln Memorial design introduced in 1959 to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday, stands proudly in symmetrical architectural precision, each column sharp and parallel, each line carefully engraved, with even the tiny seated statue of Lincoln visible deep inside the monument if you look closely with magnification. This reverse design, created by Frank Gasparo, is a masterpiece of miniature engraving, and in 1970, millions of these coins passed through the hands of workers, students, families, soldiers, immigrants, and business owners, quietly participating in the economy without anyone imagining that certain rare varieties would someday become legendary. The city of Denver, known for its efficient and high-volume minting operation, produced a massive number of 1970 D pennies, over 2.8 billion coins, a quantity so huge that it almost guarantees the survival of countless examples even today. But among these billions lie the ultra-rare pieces, the misunderstood errors, the mystery strikes, the misaligned dies, the doubled elements, the transitional planchet anomalies, the machine doubling illusions that confuse the untrained observer, and the true doubled dies that collectors hunt like buried treasure. Stories circulate about a small number of 1970 D pennies struck with faint doubling in the date, mint mark, or lettering, coins that appear to have shadows where there should only be clarity, slight shifts that reveal a die engraved incorrectly or struck more than once. Though most of these doubling effects are actually machine-related and not true double for more than $197 million, a mythical figure that fuels the imagination of treasure hunters everywhere. Whether this story is fact, exaggeration, or dramatic minting errors such as broad strikes where the rim disappears and the coin expands in diameter, or off-center strikes where Lincoln's portrait shifts awkwardly to one side, creating a visually stunning piece that collectors adore. These errors transform a familiar coin into something almost surreal, something that looks like a distorted version of reality, yet carries the unmistakable authenticity of the United States Mint. Dramatic die breaks, known as cuds, form when a piece of the die breaks off and leaves a raised blob of metal on the finished coin. Such errors on 1970 D pennies can sell for impressive amounts when the break is large or uniquely positioned, because each die break is a one-of-a-kind event that produces only a limited number of affected coins before the die is replaced. Even minor errors like clipped planchets, tilted dies, RPMs, repunched mint marks, or ghost-like images from die polishing attract specialized collectors who dedicate their entire hobby to studying small mechanical imperfections and preserving coins that survived unusual production conditions. And then there is the deeper historical side of the coin, the reason this tiny piece of copper is so important to the story of America. The year 1970 was a turbulent period marked by cultural shifts, protests, economic challenges, and scientific advancements. Humans had just walked on the moon the year before, computers were in their infancy, and society stood between eras, moving from the traditions of the past into the technology-driven future. The 1970 penny witnessed all of this, passing silently through the hands of millions as history unfolded. These coins were used to buy newspapers reporting major events, to ride buses, to make phone calls in public booths, to purchase groceries when prices were shockingly low compared to today. Every penny circulated held memories, fingerprints, and stories of the people who used it. Millions of children received these coins as pocket change, unknowingly holding something that future generations would search for with metal detectors, magnifying glasses, and deep enthusiasm. Countless others saved them in coin tubes, jars, and drawers, thinking nothing of it, never imagining that decades later someone might open that same jar, dump the coins onto a table, and gasp upon discovering a rare variety worth life-changing money. As collectors dive deeper into the world of 1-cent coins, the 1970 becomes a symbol of the thrill of the hunt, a reminder that fortune can be found in the most unexpected places, that history hides in plain sight, and that even the smallest coin can change a person's life forever. The idea of a $197 million penny, while sensational and extraordinary, becomes a powerful motivator for collectors who dream of discovering the deeper one looks into the 1970 penny, the more the story begins to resemble not just numismatics but something almost cinematic, as though each tiny detail carved into the copper surface carries a hidden message from the past, inviting anyone who holds it to look closer, to think deeper, to imagine what unseen forces allowed such a common object to become the centerpiece of stories about life-changing wealth. The truth is, coins like the 1970 Lincoln cent survive not because they are rare in numbers but because they are rare in meaning, rare in the effects they create in the minds of those who chase after them. The pursuit itself becomes a kind of ritual, the moment when a collector pours a bag of old pennies onto a table and begins to sift through them, running fingers through decades of history, hearing that soft metallic rustle that feels like whispers of the past, each coin telling a story no book can write. And the 1970 is especially powerful in this regard, because it stands right on the line dividing the past world of all copper pennies and the coming era of economic changes that would ultimately bring different compositions, different minting habits, and different levels of quality control. It is a coin born in a time when craftsmanship still mattered deeply, when the pressure of the dies, the flow of metal, the alignment of the machines, and the precision of engraving created something that collectors today can still appreciate as a work of art more than a tool of commerce. The Denver Mint in 1970 was a place of intense activity, humming with mechanical rhythms, gears spinning, presses striking thousands of coins per minute. The sheer scale of the operation meant that small mistakes were unavoidable, and those mistakes are exactly what drew collectors to the 1970 penny like moths to a flame. Struck under such massive production pressure, the 1970 created unexpected anomalies, minor die chips, faint doubling, remnant marks from reworked dies, and random imperfections that today serve as fingerprints of authenticity for specific die pairs. Die varieties became an entire universe within a single year, with dedicated specialists cataloging every tiny difference, every minute shift in alignment, every softened detail caused by worn die faces. While casual collectors may find these variations invisible, the true hunter sees them as priceless clues, leading the way toward discoveries that others overlook in plain sight. The mystique of this coin grows stronger when considering the psychological impact of possession. Imagine the thrill of holding a coin minted over half a century ago, imagining the countless hands it might have passed through, the vast number of events happening in the world when it was first released into circulation. The year 1970 saw economic turbulence, political transformation, artistic revolutions, and social shifts, and through it all, the Lincoln penny remained a quiet companion to the lives of millions. Some were dropped into vending machines, some used to make phone calls, some lost in couch cushions, some saved by children fascinated by the warm copper shine. Those who held onto these coins did so instinctively, without knowing that decades later collectors would rummage through old coffee cans and jars searching desperately for the rare anomalies that could make them wealthy beyond imagination. Every collector who has ever searched for the rare 1970 variations remembers the tension of discovery, that moment when they spot something unusual and their heartbeat quickens, when they tilt the coin toward the light to check for doubling or an overpolished die, when they weigh it out of curiosity, when they imagine the possibility that they might have found the next holy grail of penny collecting. This moment, repeated millions of times across decades, has become part of the legend of the 1970 penny. It has become more than a coin, it has become a symbol of hope, a symbol of possibility, a spark of excitement for people who dream of discovering something unexpected, something overlooked, something with a story worth telling for generations. And the rumors of extreme prices, like the famous whispers of a 1970 penny allegedly valued at nearly $197 million, only fuel the fire of imagination. Whether true, exaggerated, or symbolic, these stories highlight just how powerful the legend of this coin has become. People love the idea that something tiny, something humble, something nearly worthless in its intended use could be transformed into a treasure worth more than a skyscraper, more than a yacht, more than an entire business empire. These stories tap into the ancient human desire for miracle discoveries, a desire rooted in centuries of treasure myths, from buried chests of gold to lost artifacts of civilizations long gone. For collectors, the 1970 penny represents the modern treasure hunt, one that does not require voyages across oceans or dangerous expeditions into unknown lands, but instead takes place right at home, inside jars, drawers, safes, and old family boxes. It is treasure hidden in plain sight, treasure waiting to be recognized by someone with knowledge, passion, and persistence. And this pursuit has created an entire culture surrounding the 1970 penny. Online communities trading information, collectors posting high magnification images of oddities, debates about whether certain doubling is genuine or mechanical, arguments about grading standards, discoveries of mysterious planchet variations that spark intense discussions among experts who take this world more seriously than many can understand. Every experienced collector knows that value is driven by rarity, condition, demand, and narrative, and the 1970 penny has all of these elements intertwined. The rarity comes from elusive varieties, the condition becomes critical when battling for top registry positions, the demand climbs because new collectors enter the hobby every year, and the narrative is what gives this coin mythical energy. The narrative transforms it from a simple object into a symbol of luck, destiny, and discovery. The 1970 penny carries its story forward through every conversation, every video, every social media post that shows someone claiming they found a rare coin worth thousands or millions. And whether every claim is real or exaggerated hardly matters, because the legend grows each time the story is told. Mystery feels monumental, timeless, like a reminder that even the smallest object can carry the weight of national identity. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse becomes a metaphor within a metaphor, a monument carved into a tiny round piece of metal, a monument honoring a president who carvery dreamers form the heart of the story. Some collect pennies because they cannot afford expensive coins, but they dream of finding rare treasures in circulation. Others collect for nostalgia, remembering how their parents or grandparents kept jars filled with pennies. Others chase high-end graded examples to build elite sets. And then there are those who simply love the hunt, who collect not for wealth but for the thrill of discovering something unusual. Each collector brings their own personality, their own emotions, their own dedication to the story of the 1970 penny. In each search, in each roll, in each dusty box discovered in an attic, the legend grows. There are also stories of collectors sending coins for grading and waiting weeks with quiet tension, wondering what the result will be. Some imagine receiving a perfect MS67RD grade or higher, instantly increasing the value of their coin. Others hope their coin will reveal previously undocumented era values, the institutions that can elevate an ordinary-looking penny into a world-class rarity with a single grade assignment. The value of the 1970 penny also expands in the world of private collectors, where the rarest examples trade hands quietly, beyond public auctions. Wealthy investors, collectors with deep pockets, eccentric billionaires who appreciate rare artifacts, these people often pay enormous sums privately for coins they believe will appreciate in value or carry unmatched rarity. It is within these hidden markets that stories of astronomical prices emerge, the kind of numbers that defy logic but make perfect sense to those who understand how rarity and desire shape value in the highest levels of collecting. Imagine a single 1970 penny with an unprecedented strike, an unknown variety, a flawless surface, or an extraordinary anomaly. Imagine such a piece appearing only once in history and being desired by multiple elite collectors. In such a scenario, values like $197 million become less fantasy and more plausible extremes of a world driven by emotional and financial passion. And as time content. The story of the 1970 penny deepens as we step further into the world of those who chase it, because every collector who becomes obsessed with it eventually learns that the journey toward understanding this coin is not a straight line but a maze, one filled with misinformation, rumors, half-truths, authentic discoveries, exaggerated tales, and hidden knowledge that only reveals itself to those who look closely for long enough. In this maze, the 1970 penny acts like a guiding light, a small copper beacon drawing people toward knowledge, curiosity, and the thrill of uncovering what others overlook. It is almost strange how something as small as a single cent can create entire communities, motivate deep research, inspire late-night hunts through boxes of old change, and spark friendships and rivalries between collectors who all seek the same elusive treasure. The world of numismatics is not just a hobby but a universe of passion, dedication, and quiet obsession, and the 1970 penny stands at the center of that universe like a gravitational force. For decades, seasoned collectors have told stories of people discovering incredibly valuable coins in the most unexpected places: a dusty attic, an inherited coin jar, a forgotten roll from the bank purchased in the 1980s and never opened, a random handful of change received at a grocery store. Stories like these constantly remind people that treasure does not always come from exotic places or complex adventures. Sometimes it comes from everyday life, from the humble spaces we overlook, from the small corners of our homes where time has left untouched pieces of the past. And when it comes to the 1970 penny, the possibility of discovering an ultra-rare variety heightens this sense of chance. Every time someone opens a roll of pennies or checks an old jar, they experience the same emotion: what if this is the moment? What if this is the day? What if this is the discovery everyone dreams of? The allure of the 1970 penny becomes even stronger when we consider how the mint itself operated during that era. Machines were fast but not perfect, quality control was strict but not absolute, and the sheer volume of production created an environment where small mistakes could slip through unnoticed. Dies wore down, engravers sometimes reworked details, mint marks were hand-punched for earlier years, and even minor alignment issues could produce varieties that today collectors spend countless hours studying under microscopic lenses. These imperfections, the tiny inconsistencies between one strike and the next, create the lifeblood of modern coin collecting. Without them, every coin would be identical, soulless, indistinguishable, lacking the quirks that transform a common object into a rarity sought by specialists around the world. And this is why the 1970 penny, despite billions being minted, feels alive with possibility. Each coin carries its own story. Some are worn, with faint outlines of Lincoln remaining, as if time has softened his features into gentle memory. Some are bright, glowing with the original copper luster that feels almost unreal for a coin more than half a century old. Some show unusual characteristics, a slight tilt in the alignment, a die scratch running across the field, a small chip that creates a raised bump, doubling that creates a shadow-like illusion, or unexpected light reflections that make collectors pause and look again. These tiny details become the clues that fuel endless curiosity. The deeper collectors study these coins, the more they understand the delicate artistry behind their creation. They learn to appreciate how each strike reflects the pressure of the dies, the temperature of the planchet, the alignment of the machinery, and even the condition of the equipment itself. The surface of a 1970 penny becomes something like a fingerprint, unique, formed under specific conditions, impossible to replicate exactly. And for experts, identifying these tiny differences becomes both a science and an art, a skill honed over years of experience and countless hours of examination. This is why collectors who specialize in Lincoln cents develop such a profound respect for the series. Each year presents new mysteries, new varieties, new challenges that turn the act of collecting into a lifelong pursuit of knowledge. And among all of these challenges, the 1970 stands out, not because it is the rarest coin ever made, but because it embodies the perfect balance between accessibility and mystery. Almost anyone can find one, yet only a few will find something extraordinary. The coin's commonness is exactly what makes its rare varieties so thrilling. It is like searching for diamonds hidden among stones. Most are ordinary, but a few sparkle with exceptional brilliance. And because so many people have access to this coin, the dream becomes universal. The thrill of discovery is not limited to wealthy collectors or specialists, it belongs to anyone who picks up a magnifying glass and begins looking. And then there is the aura of wealth surrounding the coin. The idea that a single 1970 penny could be worth $197 million is more than just a number, it is a symbol of extremes. It is the fantasy of finding unimaginable value in a place no one expects. It is the emotional shock that makes people want to learn more about coins, the spark that ignites a lifelong passion. Even if such astronomical prices exist only in private rumors, exaggerated tales, or the realm of numismatic mythology, they represent the ultimate dream. And every hobby thrives on dreams. The idea of life-changing wealth is what makes people watch videos, share stories, and open rolls at midnight hoping for a miracle. And whether or not a 1970 penny actually sold for hundreds of millions, the idea itself becomes part of the narrative, part of the magic that surrounds collectibles. Markets are driven not only by numbers but by stories of rarity, discovery, desire, competition, and prestige. When a legend becomes strong enough, it shapes the value of the object it surrounds. In this way, the 1970 penny's worth is not limited to its metal, its grade, or even its rarity. Its worth includes the mythology wrapped around it, the emotional electricity it creates, the excitement it generates, the imagination it ignites. It becomes valuable because people believe in its potential. And belief is one of the most powerful forces in any collectible market. As collectors dive deeper into the lore, they discover that the 1970 penny also carries historical significance beyond monetary value. It represents a moment in American history when the nation was undergoing transformation. The 1970s marked the end of one era and the beginning of another. Society was redefining itself, technology was evolving, culture was shifting, and the economy was facing challenges that would reshape the coinage system in the decades to come. The all-copper PE last generations of pure copper cents before the shift toward zinc planchets in 1982. In this sense, the 1970 is more than a coin, it is a relic of a different economic age. And the people who collect these coins today feel connected to that era in a way that transcends mere ownership. They feel as though they are preserving a piece of unlocking a secret. Every new piece of knowledge learned feels like stepping deeper into a world that so few truly understand. The 1970 penny, with all its legends and mysteries, becomes the gateway. It is the coin that introduces people to doubled dies, mint marks, planchet errors, strike varieties, die polishing lines, die rotations, and a world of microscopic details that transform collecting from a casual activity into a passionate obsession. And the more collectors learn, the more they realize that the value of a coin often has little to do with money and everything to do with meaning. Meaning is what makes a collector pick discovery, dreams, hope, history, and hidden value. As the legend continues to expand, so does the desire to find the next great discovery. It becomes a cycle. Stories inspire searches, searches inspire new stories inspire new collectors, and new collectors recreate the cycle again. The 1970 penny lives not only in pockets, drawers, and coin albums, it lives in minds, in conversations, in dreams, in imaginations. It becomes part of a shared narrative, passed from collector to collector, from generation to generation, from beginner to expert. And somewhere, maybe right now, someone is opening an old jar or sorting through coins without realizing that among them may lie a piece of history, a rare variety, a hidden treasure, a copper miracle waiting to be recognized. Maybe somewhere a person is unknowingly holding a coin that could change their life forever. Maybe a coin that looks or. And as the discussion moves even deeper into the mysterious world of the 1970 1-cent coin, the fascination only grows because every time collectors believe they have already explored every corner of this extraordinary penny's history, more unexpected layers reveal themselves, especially when we dig into how this small copper piece influenced the way people think about coin production, minting authority, collector psychology, and market speculation. Countless stories have been shared by collectors who stumbled upon rare varieties in the most surprising and ordinary places, like old jars stored in wooden cabinets, forgotten drawers, cardboard boxes left in basements, or bags of mixed coins purchased from estate sales, and each story adds more fuel to the global excitement surrounding the 1970 cent. Many collectors still remember how unusual it felt to see news reports revealing that even common-looking coins from the 1970s were suddenly delivering unbelievable auction prices, with experts explaining to the public that a coin made for only 1 cent could transform into a life-changing amount of money simply because of a tiny shift in metal, a subtle variation in minting pressure, or a microscopic difference in the alignment of the dies used during production. This is what elevated the legend, the idea that something so small, so ordinary, so easily overlooked, could become more valuable than gold, diamonds, or luxury watches. The 1970 penny began to symbolize hope for many people around the world who dreamed that their everyday change might secretly contain a treasure worth more than entire properties, cars, or businesses. As word continued to spread, collectors and treasure hunters became even more obsessed with identifying the differences between standard 1970 coins and the rarest ones. Certain examples displayed unusually sharp lines around the Lincoln Memorial columns, while others showed faint doubling around the words Liberty or the date. An even smaller number carried strange and barely visible minting anomalies, such as slight die rotations or unexpected texture variations in the copper alloy. The 1970 became famous because unlike some rare coins that require special microscopes or laboratory equipment, many of its rare signs can be detected through careful observation and keen focus, allowing regular people to join the hunt. The more people examined the coin, the more they started to appreciate the deep reddish tone of its copper surface, the almost artistic glow it gives off under different angles of light, and the powerful historical story it carries, because every 1970 penny was struck during a period of major cultural shifts in the United States, a time when new ideas, new technologies, and new political tensions were transforming society. Owning one of these pennies is like holding a tiny time capsule that captures the spirit of the early 70s, with all its movement, energy, and uncertainty. Collectors often mention how beautifully balanced the design of the 1970 penny truly is. Lincoln's profile, facing right, remains strong and dignified, a symbol of leadership, courage, and equality. Every curve of his face, every line of his coat, was intentionally carved to represent more than just a portrait. It represented the principles that shaped the nation. Meanwhile, the reverse side of the coin showcases the Lincoln Memorial in remarkable architectural precision, with the columns lined up in a symmetrical and almost majestic display. Some rare strikes even reveal the faint seated figure of Lincoln inside the memorial, a detail that fascinates collectors because it almost feels like a hidden Easter egg placed by the mint. Every single structural element, every engraving on the coin, reminds viewers that even the smallest pieces of metal produced by the mint were crafted with precision, pride, and artistic skill. As collectors began comparing their coins in online forums, local clubs, and international exhibitions, it became clear that the 1970 penny occupies a special category in the world of numismatics, not because it is extremely old like ancient coins, and not because it is made of luxury metals, but because it blends scarcity, history, misprints, and high demand all into one. Many experienced collectors believe that no other penny has created as much continuous buzz across decades as the 1970 series, especially the Denver minted version. As a result, its market value continues to rise, and some extremely rare versions of the coin have already shattered expectations by reaching astonishing price levels. When people heard about the extraordinary sales figures, numbers climbing into hundreds of thousands, and speculative projections imagining values reaching millions, interest in the 1970 skyrocketed even among people who had never collected coins before. Families started digging through their old saved jars, children began checking their pocket change, and pawn shops noticed an increase in customers asking about vintage pennies. The value surge also started a new wave of research, with historians and mint specialists revisiting archives, production logs, and official mint records to understand how certain errors slipped through the system. Some discovered that dye deterioration in the Denver Mint during the early part of 1970 likely contributed to unusual doubling patterns. Others suggested that slightly misaligned hubs caused letters to appear thicker or overlapped in certain rare examples. These scientific and historical investigations strengthened the coin's legendary status even further, because they showed that the rare versions of the 1970 penny were not just random mistakes, they were the results of perfect storms of timing, equipment, and human oversight. Each rare 1970 penny represents a moment when the minting machinery created something unintended, something that escaped quality control, and something that later evolved into a treasure capable of commanding massive attention and unbelievable prices in the collector market. Stories also spread about major auctions where bidders fiercely competed, raising their paddles with increasing intensity as the price climbed higher and higher. The atmosphere in those auction halls was electric, with audiences watching in suspense as auctioneers announced eye-watering numbers. The fascination wasn't only about the money, it was about witnessing history, about seeing a tiny copper coin transform into an artifact worth more than luxury properties or exotic cars. Some bidders described the experience as emotional, like they were claiming a piece of American heritage. These dramatic moments have now become part of the mythos surrounding the 1970 penny, inspiring even more collectors to join the hunt for rare specimens. And even though millions of regular 1970 pennies were minted, the rare error varieties remain incredibly scarce, which is precisely why they continue to command such huge prices. People often think that a large mintage automatically means lower value, but the secret lies in rarity within the larger pool. Only a tiny fraction of these pennies display the special characteristics that make them so valuable, and finding one is like winning a hidden treasure lottery. Collectors always emphasize this point when advising beginners. Not all 1970 pennies are valuable, but the rare ones are unimaginably valuable. This distinction keeps the hunt alive and thrilling. Over time, the story of the 1970 penny also inspired documentaries, articles, podcasts, and YouTube videos, each exploring new angles of the story. Some focused on the technical aspects, explaining how doubling occurs and why copper coins age the way they do. Others explored the historical background, connecting the coin's production era with political shifts, economic changes, and cultural trends. Some creators even interviewed former mint workers who shared first-hand accounts of how intense the minting environment was, with machines running at high speeds, supervisors checking quality, and thousands of coins pouring out every hour. Hearing these human stories added another depth to the 1970 penny's legend, reminding people that behind every coin there are countless individuals who helped produce it. As time passed, the 1970 penny became more than a collectible, it became a conversation piece, a cultural symbol, an investment instrument, and a treasure hunt item all at once. People proudly showcase their collections, discuss varieties, trade experiences, and share dreams of one day discovering the rarest example that could potentially reach values like $197 million in speculation or future markets. Whether or not such sky-high values materialize, the excitement alone keeps the community thriving. As the story of the 1970 1-cent coin continues to unfold, the deeper layers of its journey become even more astonishing because now the focus shifts to how this tiny copper piece managed to influence not only individual collectors but entire communities, markets, and even modern digital platforms where coin trading and auctioning take place. The rise of online marketplaces transformed the world of numismatics forever, allowing collectors from every corner of the globe to connect, trade, and compare their 1970 pennies without ever needing to leave their homes. This digital transformation intensified the excitement around rare varieties, especially those rumored to command six-figure or even million-dollar valuations, with some collectors speculating that future rare specimens could push the boundaries of the market all the way to numbers like $197 million if the right combination of rarity, condition, and buyer competition occurs at the perfect moment. Even though these astronomical numbers may sound exaggerated, in the world of rare collectibles nothing is impossible, especially when scarcity converges with passion, history, and global bidding power. Many collectors remember how, in the early days of online coin communities, photos of possible double-die 1970 pennies circulated like wildfire. People sent images to experts, discussed patterns in detail, highlighted the thickness of the letters, the slopes around the date, the spacing between the numbers, and the small imperfections that might indicate a minting anomaly. Some images sparked intense debates, with experts examining every pixel and every shadow to determine whether the doubling was genuine or simply an illusion caused by lighting. Even these discussions added to the legend, because they showed how deeply people valued the possibility of discovering something extraordinary within the copper surface of a coin that had once been worth only a single cent. One of the most captivating aspects of the 1970 penny story is how it bridges multiple generations. Older collectors who started collecting coins in the 1970s feel emotionally connected to the coin because they remember using these pennies in everyday transactions, carrying them in their pockets, giving them to children, or tossing them into jars. Younger collectors, especially those growing up in the digital age, find the coin fascinating because it represents a world that existed long before smartphones, social media, and digital banking, a world where physical currency was not just a medium of exchange, but a record of national identity and artistic craftsmanship. This intergenerational connection gives the penny a sentimental depth that enhances its collectability, making the rare 1970D versions feel timeless and treasured. As the penny's fame increased, many people began investing in advanced magnification tools such as jewelers' loupes, microscopes, and digital coin scanners, all in the hope of finding the rare markers that define high-value 1970D coins. These devices allowed collectors to inspect the coin's tiny features with tremendous clarity, revealing details of the metal grain, the subtle elevation shifts, and even the texture patterns caused by worn dies. For many collectors, this microscopic journey into the coin's surface feels like an adventure through a miniature landscape, filled with hidden secrets and clues left behind by the minting process. They analyze the thickness of the numeral 7 and the date, the slope on the number 1, the rounding of the 9, and the placement of the D mint mark to determine whether any unusual characteristics are present. The excitement of finding even the smallest anomaly can be overwhelming, causing the collector's heart to race with anticipation. Another fascinating dimension of the 1970D penny lies in how it embodies a transitional point in American coin production. During this era, the U.S. Mint was constantly adjusting its production standards, experimenting with new die technologies, and grappling with increased demand for coins due to population growth and economic expansion. These operational shifts sometimes resulted in uneven die wear, misaligned strikes, or unintentional doubling, all of which are now considered desirable error traits by collectors. What once were mistakes to be avoided have now become features worth incredible sums, illustrating how time and perspective can transform imperfections into treasures. The 1970D penny is the perfect example of how something originally regarded as a routine minting product can eventually evolve into a rare artifact celebrated by enthusiasts worldwide. The psychological appeal of the penny also contributes significantly to its rising value. Humans naturally gravitate toward hidden treasure stories, and the idea that a seemingly ordinary coin in your pocket could be worth more than luxury properties, designer goods, or even some high-end vehicles creates an irresistible sense of possibility. This sense of discovery energizes the coin community, pushing thousands of people to recheck old savings, revisit collections, and search through penny rolls purchased from banks. Roll hunting has become a popular activity, where collectors buy hundreds or even thousands of pennies and slowly examine them one by one in hopes of uncovering a rare 1970D. The thrill of the unknown keeps people motivated, because every new roll contains a faint possibility of revealing a life-changing prize. In addition to the psychological and historical components, the 1970D penny has also ignited numerous discussions around how coins age over time. Different environmental conditions can dramatically change a coin's appearance. Exposure to humidity may alter its color, dryness may preserve it, and certain chemical reactions can create unexpected toning effects that increase visual appeal. Some 1970D cents have developed stunning reds, deep chestnut hues, or even multi-tone surfaces that shimmer like miniature paintings. These visually unique examples become even more desirable because collectors love owning coins that look unlike any other. The aging process makes each penny a unique work of art shaped by time itself. The copper composition of the 1970D penny adds another dimension to its value. Copper is a metal that absorbs light, oxidizes beautifully, and carries a warm glow that makes older coins visually captivating. The fact that these pennies were produced before the composition change in the 1980s, when the US shifted from nearly pure copper to copper-coated zinc, makes pre-1982 pennies especially appealing to collectors. The 1970D penny belongs to this era of heavier, richer, more durable copper cents, which enhances its desirability and historical importance. When people hold an original copper penny from the 70s, they can physically feel the difference in weight and density, adding a sensory depth to the collecting experience. Because of all these factors: history, minting errors, aesthetics, rarity, sentimental value, and global collector demand, the market for 1970D pennies continues to evolve unpredictably. Some experts believe the coin's value will continue climbing steadily as more people enter the hobby. Others think that sudden spikes in value may occur when new rare varieties are discovered or when record-breaking auction results inspire new waves of collectors. The most optimistic collectors imagine a future where rare examples might one day be auctioned for prices that exceed all previous records, pushing the boundaries of what a single penny could be worth. In this realm of speculation, people even imagine possibilities as enormous as $197 million if wealthy buyers, historical significance, and competition converge in a perfect moment. What truly makes the 1970D penny so fascinating is that its story is still unfolding. New examples are still being found, new discoveries are still being made, and new collectors are entering the world of numismatics every day. Even after decades of study, there is still so much that remains unknown, unexplored, or misunderstood about the rarest variations. This constant sense of mystery fuels the excitement and keeps people searching, learning, and sharing their findings. And as the narrative stretches even further into the world surrounding the 1970D 1-cent coin, the fascination grows stronger because at this point the coin is no longer just an object made of copper but a symbol of possibility, a reminder that extraordinary value can hide inside the most ordinary things. Collectors often talk about how the moment they discover even a slightly unusual feature on their 1970 coin, time seems to freeze, the heart races, the mind locks onto the tiny detail, and their hands tremble with the thrill of imagining that they might have stumbled upon a rare variation worth unimaginable sums. That emotional surge is one of the reasons people become addicted to coin collecting, because each coin has the potential to transform someone's life, and the 1970 penny is at the center of this dream for thousands across the world. The hunt becomes even more captivating when collectors learn to identify the subtle variations that distinguish common 1970 pennies from the rare types. Some carefully examine the angle of the 7 and the date, noticing whether the stroke appears thicker, doubled, shadowed, or slightly shifted. Others focus on the mint mark, studying the curvature of the D and looking for signs that it might have been punched by hand, which was still partly common in certain minting processes of that era. Some collectors measure the alignment of the lettering on the reverse, paying attention to whether the words United States of America appear perfectly even or show signs of doubling. Each tiny discovery becomes a thrilling clue in a treasure hunt that never truly ends. The emotional power of this coin is so strong that many collectors describe it almost as a companion in their lives. They tell stories about checking their old childhood coin albums and reliving memories of when they first started collecting. Some talk about searching through coins with their parents or grandparents, sharing laughter, curiosity, and the excitement of finding coins from years past. The 1970 penny becomes the centerpiece of these memories, a bridge between generations, a reminder of family traditions, and a link to both the past and the present. These emotional connections often outweigh even the financial value of the coin itself, making the hunt worthwhile even for collectors who never find the rarest variants. In numismatic circles, the 1970 penny is often compared to legendary coins that changed the hobby forever. Some collectors argue that it belongs in the same conversation as the famous 1955 double die cent or the 1909 SVDB cent, which are considered holy grails in the world of pennies. Others believe that the 1970 is in a category of its own because of the unique combination of historical timing, minting anomalies, copper composition, and modern collector enthusiasm. Its fame also comes from the fact that it exists at the perfect intersection of old-fashioned collecting and digital age excitement. Unlike older coins that were collected primarily through physical markets and coin shows, the 1970 penny thrives in the world of online videos, forums, auctions, and social media discussions, allowing millions of people to share discoveries instantly. Because of this online boom, the coin's exposure multiplied dramatically. Videos showcasing the rarest varieties went viral, attracting millions of viewers from all over the world. People from countries where US coins are rarely seen became fascinated by the idea that a tiny American copper coin might be worth more than they earn in years. Meanwhile, collectors in the United States began searching through their spare change, convinced that the perfect 1970 might be sitting unnoticed in a jar or box somewhere in their homes. Stories about massive auction prices added fuel to this global frenzy, with some rare examples rumored to reach extremely high valuations depending on their condition, rarity, and demand. Even professional grading companies became part of the story, because collectors understood that a graded 1970 penny commands far higher prices than an ungraded one. Sending coins to be graded required patience, money, and confidence, because people hoped that their coin would come back with a high grade such as MS65, MS66, or even higher. Each grade represents a different level of perfection, and the higher the grade, the higher the potential value. Some collectors waited anxiously for weeks, imagining what their coin might be worth if it received a top-tier grade. When the sealed grading slab finally arrived in the mail, opening it felt like opening a treasure chest. That moment became a defining memory in many collectors' lives, especially for those who were fortunate enough to receive exceptional grades. The growing demand for the 1970 penny also triggered a wave of new research into the coin's origins. Historians and mint specialists studied archived documents and analyzed batch production records from the Denver Mint to uncover exactly how certain varieties emerged. They discovered that the minting environment in early 1970 was packed with activity, with machines running continuously to meet the nation's demand for currency. This non-stop production environment increased the likelihood of die wear, misalignment, or doubling. As a result, some coins were struck with slightly shifted designs, producing the now famous doubled features that collectors eagerly seek. Interestingly, many mint workers from that era later shared stories about how they operated the machines during long shifts, how they manually adjusted dies, and how they monitored minting quality. Some recalled how extreme weather conditions inside the mint, heat from the machinery, vibrations from the presses, and the high-pressure environment made precision difficult. These human factors contributed to the creation of rare varieties that would become extraordinarily valuable decades later. The 1970 penny is therefore not just a product of mechanical processes but a product of time, workplace conditions, and countless human decisions. Another fascinating aspect is how these pennies aged differently depending on environmental factors. Some coins remained in circulation for decades, developing smooth surfaces, changed colors, and a polished appearance from years of contact with other coins. Others were stored away immediately after minting, preserved in almost perfect condition in rolls or bags. Some developed deep red hues, while others took on brown tones that collectors describe as chocolate, mahogany, or auburn. These variations make each 1970D penny visually unique, and collectors often seek coins with the most beautiful natural toning. Many collectors also discuss the mysterious allure surrounding error coins, such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, and die cracks. A 1970D penny with any of these features gains instant attention because these mistakes are part of what makes coin collecting so exciting. Each error tells a story about when something unusual happened during production, a shift in the feeding mechanism, a moment when the press misaligned, or a flaw in the metal blank itself. These imperfections create beauty and rarity, transforming simple production mistakes into highly sought-after treasures. The deeper people dive into the world of 1970D pennies, the more they realize that this coin carries a kind of magic that continues to influence collectors long after the coin has left the mint. It represents a journey into history, art, science, and human emotion. It fuels dreams of discovery and wealth. It strengthens relationships between collectors who share their passion with one another. It inspires countless stories, discussions, analyses, and possibilities. The value of the rarest examples keeps climbing because demand shows no sign of slowing, and new collectors continue to enter the hobby every day. And as the story travels even deeper into the remarkable world of the 1970D 1-cent coin, the fascination becomes almost overwhelming because now the narrative enters a phase where collectors begin to understand not just the technical and historical aspects, but the philosophical and emotional meaning behind this penny that refuses to fade from relevance. It becomes clear that the 1970D penny has evolved far beyond a simple artifact of American currency. It has become a symbol of how unexpected value can exist in the quietest corners of life, waiting for the right pair of eyes to uncover it. People who never cared about coins before suddenly find themselves lost in the search, driven by the hope that they might discover one of the rarest known varieties and change their lives forever. The more one reflects on the 1970D penny, the more layers of complexity emerge, especially when considering the cultural environment in America during the year 1970. It was a time when the nation was experiencing immense social change, technological advancement, and political tension, all of which seeped into the tone of the era. The U.S. Mint, operating in this dynamic environment, was working under pressures of increased production demand, changing economic policies, and the need to maintain coin circulation at a rapid pace. Because of this intense pressure, the minting process occasionally produced coins with slight irregularities, variations, or unexpected quirks, tiny accidents that would later become the very features collectors treasure. Each of these irregularities feels like a frozen moment of history, preserved forever in copper. Collectors often describe the 1970D penny as a tiny time machine because it captures the essence of the early 70s in every aspect of its design. Lincoln's portrait, bold yet calm, reflects resilience and stability during a turbulent era. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side conveys unity, strength, and architectural perfection, serving as a reminder of the nation's foundations. When collectors hold a pristine 1970D penny, they sense a fragment of America's cultural story resting in their palm. The satiny finish, the rich copper glow, the precise engravings, all these features combine into an art piece born from industrial machinery yet carrying a poetic spirit. As collectors dig deeper into the world of penny varieties, they begin to develop a kind of sixth sense for spotting rare characteristics. Some can instantly notice the subtle swelling on a letter, the faint doubling on a numeral, or the nearly invisible shifts in the design that the average person would overlook completely. Their eyes become trained to read the tiny details like a language where every line and contour carries meaning. The 1970D penny becomes a subject of endless study because its known number of varieties is still growing, with new discoveries occasionally surfacing in the hands of enthusiasts who analyze their coins with dedication and care. This never-ending potential for discovery gives the coin a mystical, almost magical aura. Many collectors tell stories of how their passion began with a single moment, perhaps when they stumbled upon a strange-looking penny in their change or when they watched a video explaining how valuable certain pennies could be. Once this spark is lit, the excitement takes over. People begin to purchase coin rolls from banks, attending local coin shows, joining online collector groups, and learning how to distinguish mint states, errors, and die varieties. The 1970D penny sits at the center of this journey like a guiding beacon, encouraging newcomers to continue searching, learning, and refining their skills. Each time they hold a coin under the bright white light of a magnifier, the heart thumps with possibility. The coin's influence has grown so much that it has even inspired collectors to research metallurgy, the science behind the composition and aging of metals. Copper, the primary material used for the 1970D penny, is known for developing unique patinas over time. These patinas can create colors ranging from deep reds to bronze browns or even surprising rainbow-like tones if exposed to specific atmospheric conditions. Collectors marvel at how each penny ages differently based on where it has been, how it was stored, and what environmental factors it encountered. The metal reacts subtly with air, moisture, oils, and temperature, leaving behind a story written in color across the surface of the coin. A beautifully toned 1970D penny with vibrant hues often becomes a prized possession because its appearance is one of a kind. The discovery of rare varieties also fuels competition among collectors. Some approach the hunt with quiet patience, examining coins over long evenings with steady concentration. Others approach it with the fiery intensity of treasure hunters, racing to search through rolls as quickly as possible, eager to claim the next great find. This blend of personalities makes the community diverse and vibrant. Whenever someone discovers a new variety or shares a rare example online, the entire community reacts with excitement, admiration, and renewed determination to keep searching. These shared experiences form friendships, rivalries, and lifelong memories, all centered around a single coin that most people overlook in everyday transactions. Professional numismatists, experts who devote their lives to the study of coins, also contribute to the growing legacy of the 1970 penny by documenting varieties, analyzing minting patterns, and verifying new discoveries. Their research helps maintain the coin's historical integrity, ensuring that genuine rare varieties are not mistaken for damaged or altered pieces. These experts also help categorize coins by condition, using precise grading standards that determine whether a coin is in circulated condition, brilliant uncirculated condition, or pristine mint state quality. Their knowledge brings structure and credibility to the market, guiding collectors as they navigate the complexities of value and rarity. Because of the coin's rising fame, huge auction houses began highlighting the 1970 penny in their catalogs, describing it in poetic, almost heroic language. They emphasize its historical significance, its beauty, and its extreme scarcity in top condition. Some rare examples have appeared in prestigious auctions where bidding wars erupted unexpectedly, pushing prices into eye-widening territory. When bidders raise their paddles with determination, refusing to give up, the energy in the room becomes electric. Each bid feels like a declaration of admiration for the coin's extraordinary legacy. When the auctioneer's gavel finally strikes, signaling the sale of another rare 1970 penny, applause sometimes fills the room, not for the money involved, but for the moment itself, a moment that acknowledges the coin's ascent into the realm of true numismatic legends. Meanwhile, countless everyday people continue their quiet search from home. Parents sit with their children at kitchen tables, pouring out piles of pennies and examining each one. Elderly collectors revisit their old jars, convinced that the rare variety they never noticed might be hidden inside. Young teenagers begin their journey by finding a single shiny copper coin and dreaming about discovering something extraordinary. The 1970 penny brings all these people together, uniting them in a shared sense of wonder and discovery. Or ISS Lam Safar Ko Yari Rakti Hu Hum 1970 Lincoln Sen Ki Kahani Ko or Garaimi Lu Jade Hain, Jay's video ka is Hissa Shiro Hoda Hai, narrator Katon Thoda Mysterious Hoda Chula Jada Hai, Jay's Wa Ekasi Danayakadar Wazakol Nwala Hojahan Numismatics Koandar Raz, Minting Ko processes Ki Nakri details, or log on Ki emotions Jo decades esse rare sense Ko Piche Bagdiye Hain, Sabak Hai Kahani Mi Gul Mil Jade Hain. Ipart and Sari Cheese and Key Detail Ko Explore Karta Hai Jo Am Nazar Sahamesha Chupi Ray Jadi Hain, Lekan Ek Collector Key Trained I and the Ekpori Kahani, Ekpori Value or Ekidi as Kabuj Mrs. Karti High Point 1970 Descent, Jo Surface Par Ek Am Copper Coin Jaisa Lagta High, Asami Design Ku Microscopic Elements Ka Ek Masterpiece High. Jab Yi Coin Fresh Mint Siniculta the Tuwaski Fields Idni Clean or Glossy Hodi T Ku 1 Par Light Bilkal Mirror Terra Reflect Hodi T, Lekan Time Kasathi Shininess Dull Hon Lagdi T. Lekan Kuch Coins, Jo Perfectly Preserved Condition Mi Rati, Unkey Surfaces Mi Wa Vibrance AJB Existing High, or Wahayan He Rare Banata High. Collector Jab Ace Coin Ko Hothmi Yuthata High, Tuwasi Surf Ek Metal Ka Tukta Feel Nahi Hoda, Baki Ek Era Key Crafting, Ek Technique, or Ek Mind Worker Ka Precision Feel Hoda High. 1970 Ka Mind Workers Ka Kena the Kuas Time Coins Banane Whale Machines Ku Calibration Ko Lanami Bohat Sayata Care Rockni Pad DT, Kyunki Agar Slightest Misalignment Be Hoda, to Coins Mi Doubling, Flattening, or Distortion A Jada. Kuch Distortions Valuable Ban Gay, Kuch Worthless, or Kuch Asek Mythical Ace High Distortions Mi Sab Sayata Charchami Reda High 1970s Large Date DDO, Just Karen 1970 Series Key Popularity Skyrocket Hui, or log on in the same year Kudi Mint Coins Ko Microscopic Level Per Examine Karna Start Cardia. Kyung Collector Psychology Yi Hodi Haiku Agar Ek Error Ek Mint Mi Mila, Toho Sakta Haiku Uska Cousin Error Jishi Discernment Mi Biho. Or Yahi would praise the Just Log on KO 1970 Ds and Koandar Hidden Doubling, Subtle Shifts, or Microscopic Anomalies KO Dun Parmej Borkia. AAJB Internet Forums Par Coin Magnification Ko Blurred Images Share Ki Jadi Hain Jahan Log Arrows Logakar Batate Hain Yideko, Yaha Doubling High, Yideko, Yaha Seraphic High, Yideko, ERPM Jaisa Lagra High. Kai experts agree Cardi Hain, Kai disagree Cardi Hain, Lekin discussion always alive Radi High, or Yi High 1970 D Coin KO Digital Age Me Be Evergreen Banati High, ISS Part Me Narrator Coin Kametal Koandar Ek Deep Dive Karda High, Jay's Coin Surf Copper Nahi Hoda, Baki Ek Scientific Composition Hoda High Jime 95% copper or 5% zinc or tin historically include Otha. Yi ratio US Mint Any choose Kia the Kyunki Ella economically viable, durable or easy to strike Hoda the. Lekin ISS material composition Ka Ek interesting side effect Yi the Ku heat exposure, humidity or soil contact as colors drastically change Ode Hain. 1970 D cents Ko AAJ collectors red, RD, red brown, RB, or brown, Bian, tonings me classify Cardi Hain, or Yi high toning unkey grading or market value Ka deciding factor Banti high. XRD coin, Joe 50 plus Sol bad be full red shine maintain care, collector Kalia time coup against Jita Huaik soldier Hoda high, Jiska Hona high rarity high. Ace coins auction me jaw-dropping prices achieve Cardi Hain, ISS script ko is hisami narrator emotional storytelling ko scientific detailing kosoth combine Carta Hua Batata high koek coin surface lie valuable nahi hoda kyonkwa Purana high limited high, Baki is lie valuable hoda high kyonkwa X story carry Carta high X story Joe ek mint worker kohathas ashuro hodi high, ek vending machine ko andar chupi ready high, ek grocery store counterpart exchange hodi high, jishi bachi ki pocket me. Jang lagati high, or fur ek din koi collector ussi pick Carta high or Kata high, kuchtakaz high. Or yikas kafil high coin key real value banjata high. Market me jab koi coin emotional or historical weight carry kardaho, tab uski price surf metal key nahi hodi, baki ek safar key hodi high. Isai safar key wajasikuch unique quality whale 1970 D coins key estimates absurdly high chali jati hain, jisalog fascination or hype mixture kasoth quote cardi hain, age narrator batata haiku coin grading companies jisa pcgs, NGC or annex collab technicians in coins ko 5x, 10x, 20x magnification me examine cardi hain. Unka calm surf scratches dekna nahi hoda, baki coin ku edges, rims, fields, luster flow, strike sharpness or mint mark stability check karna hoda high. Kaibar 1970D sent me strike weakness pai jati high, Joe Denver mint ka pressure adjustment ki wajas hodi high, or ISS strike weakness kuchalt designers ku original detail slightly soft appear ode hain. Lekin Joe coin sharp strike me milt hain, or remarkable ode hain. Narrator ISS bot ko emphasize Carta Haiku collectors sharp strike whale coins ko full detail pieces Kate hain, or unki auction desirability significantly high hodi high narrator is part me microscopic inconsistencies ka zikr Carta high Joe coins key market psychology co influence Cardi hain. Kuch coins me liberty ka letters slightly thick appear ode hain. Kuch me 1970 ka 0 ka loop thoda open hoda high, kuch me thoda closed. Kuch me mint mark D ka punch perfectly centered hoda high, kuch me slightly tilted ya negligible distance shift hoda high. Ye tiny details high on coins ko discussion ka topic banati hain, or kai log apni coin ko rare proof karn kuliya hours tack compare cardi ray hain. Kai bar experts authoritatively bold deet hain ku anomaly worthless high, lekin seller emotional attachment me usi valuable variety kata reta high. E psychology collectors market ka kajib or fascinating aspect high akirmi narrator ISS part me highlight carta high ka 1970 decent ko andarek mystery hamisha rahidi high, kia hummus coin ki sorry varieties discover car li hain, yamint archives me kuche secrets hain jo kabi reveal nahi hum? Ye suspense, ye imagination or ye curiosity high coin collecting ko-oek living hobby banata high. Or jabek coin bear me speculation, excitement or microscopic research ka silsila kelta reta high, to rare species key market value skyrocket hodi radi high, ye real world me unkey availability extremely limited q na ho. ISS Gary or Lam Safar ka agla hisa shura hoda high jahan narrator 1970 D Lincoln send key denaya ko or Zayata cinematic, or Zayata emotional, or Zayata mysterious tarikasi expand karta high. Yahan kahani surf ek coin ki nahi, baki ek obsession ki banjati high, wo obsession jo collectors ko rat kutu baya be magnifying glass kanache coins examine karn parmaj bor kardeti high, wo obsession jahan ek single copper send key microscopic soft 3 detail jishi admi kaliya $1 million treasure banjati high. Or 1970 descent, apni por sharafati design, poetic imperfection or historical vibration kasoth, collector's key is Junoon ko fuel karta high narrator batata high ka 1970 D coin key ek ajib psychological pull high. Jab koi collector is coin ko hothmi yuthata high, tuasi ek kamasha se vibration mrs hoda high ekaisa vibration jo wasi 1970 ku America ko andar lajata high. Vietnam War ka tension, economy ka shifting structure, cars ka musalera, Nixon era ka political shift, or logon ki day-to-day zindagi jahanex and kabi value hoda the yisab collectively is coin ko andar bs juka hoda high. Ek coin ek silent witness hoda high apni zamani ka, or yahi 1970 d sen ki ek anoki beauty high. Narrator ISS part me describe Carta high kokaizia coin apni copper alloy ko and our history, economy or society ka mixture carry Carta high, Joe collectors koek emotional nostalgia me jira dita high jahan price tag secondary ho jata high or kahani primary for narrator detail me jata high coin ka strike characteristics ki taraf. 1970 D ka strike hamesha uniform nahi the. Kai planchet slightly off center oat the kai par pressure uneven apply hoda the, or kai par die polishing lines evident hodi t. Ye high imperfections, Jomin kuliya problem or quality issue the AAJ ko collectors kuliya charm or personality benchuk hain. Ekfain die crack Joe rims ichal car Lincoln kukotak jata high, collectors kuliya ek signature trait ban sakta high. Ek coin par agar die where kuch alt details soft ho jayan, to a circulate hua field dita high, or agar sharpness extreme hoda with uncirculated crown banjata high. He contrasts high on coins kubich ek silent hierarchy create cardi hain, jahan kuch log heavily circulated pieces ko pazin cardi hain kyankani feel hoda haiku and coins any America ka sol safar deka high, jab kuch log pristine condition whale coins ko pazin cardi hain kyankani lagta high with time capsule hain ISS pardon me narrator coin committing process ko andar ek or layer ad carta high. Die longevity or wear patterns. Mind me hard die ek predictable life cycle follow karta hai pelicoins christ strike ode hain, for dear details soften hodi hain, for microscopic fatigue cracks appear ode hain, or ek stage isa ada hai jahan die ko retire karna pada hai. But kai bar efficiency ya workload ko pressure me dice ko thoda extra kalaya jada the. Is extra usage kachalt bohat say 1970 sense me unique markers appear ode hain, tiny die chips, faint cracks, or polishing lines jo coins ko surface ko ek distinct personality deed hain. Narrator batata haika collectors in markers ko fingerprint j street cardi hain ek isa fingerprint jo ek specific die key identity ko define karta high. Ye micro identities high were reason hain jean kachalt collectors ek high sol ko dozens coins preserve carlit hain, kyunki uni pada hoda haika harpies ek unique chapter carry karta high for narrator bot karta high market psychology key, jo kabi straight line me work nahi karta. Kai bar ek rumor, basic rumor, ka 1970 dimi koi new variety mil sakti high, puri market ko hype me dal dita high. People start digging, sorting, scanning, magnifying, or ISS madness me kuch log apni salen se dab me rate coins ko nickel car new hope me analyze cardi hain. Narrator emphasize karta high kayahi hype driven research kabi accidental discoveries create kardi high ek tiny RPM, ek minor doubling, ek rare planchet error, jo fur logon ko first is coin ko chain reaction me gusadeti high. Ye high cycle is coin ko alive rockti high ISS part ko climax me narrator emotional twist lotta high. Woak collector ki kahani describe karta high ek elderly man jo 40 sal say 1970 descents collect kar raha high. Uski liya e coin surf copper nahi, baki reminders hain uski jani, uski kam kapela paycheck, grocery stores, paperboy days, or a samani kat ek simple life jahan ek cent b value carry karta the. Jabwa apna ek perfectly preserved 1970 d coin magnifying lamp koneche examine karta high, uski ankon mi ek shine hodi high. Uski ha thod shake kardi hain, like an uska smile stable hoda high. Uski li ye price $197 million be hota matter nahi karta, kyunk uski nazarmi coin priceless high. Or narrator yahan highlight karta high ki high ultimate truth high, ek coin key real value surf auction number asi define nahi hodi, wa collector ku emotional connection, uski kahani, uski journey or uski passion asi define hodi high, or j's part could me narrator key voice soft hodi high, with ek line bolta high jo viewers ko hook kardeti high, or jab x and apni andar puris and dagi ki kahani samita ho, tab uski value surf min ka numbers se nahi hodi, uski value uski ruase hodi high. ISS final hisami narrator key voice thodi slow, thodi emotional, thodi cinematic hojadi high, jays with viewers ko ek lam safar kabad ek quiet, peaceful destination tak lo ayaho. Is whacked video katon celebratory be high or reflective be, kyunk 1970 d Lincoln sent ki kahani surf ek coin ki kahani nani, baki ek samani ki dadkin ka echo ban chuki hodi high. Or narrator is moment ko maximum emotional impact kasathen karta high, taki viewers ko andar x silent goosebumps wali feeling rage narrator shuro karta high ISS thought kasath ko jab humani part 1 me safar shuro kia to x simple copper sent lag to the surf 1970d, ek amsa coin jo hazaran logon ko wallets, drawers, piggy banks, or pockets me pada hoda the. Lekin J's hum microscopic details me gusna start kia, J's hum minting process ko andar key complexities ko explore kia, J's hum collectors key psychological obsession ko samja, history ko vibes ko feel kia, or varieties, anomalies, strike issues or luster patterns ka pura ocean cross kia, hue mek cheese realize we, ek coin kabi be surf coin nahi hoda. Wa ek time capsule hoda high jai mek pura zamana band hoda high. Or 1970 descent to me is ek ISIS and high jo half century kabad be logon ko attract karta high, inspire karta high or confuse be karta high, ISS ending me narrator batata high ka market value ka flashy numbers, $197 million j's exaggerated claims, internet par hamesha circulate kardi hain. Log hype banate hain, myths create kardi hain, or kuch log ISS hype me apni coins ku unrealistic expectations rock deed hain. Lekin yahan narrator clarity dita high, ek gentle reminder kasath, real value hamesha authenticity me hodi high, rarity me hodi high, or condition me hodi high. Lekin emotional value? Wa hamesha sabs you per hodi high. Collector kaliya ek coin key worth uski safar me hodi high, as moment me hodi high javas and jishi parani box me ek shiny yatoned coin nikala, or esmus kia kuya object usi wapas 50 sol piche lekar jaraha high narrator x slow fade and kasath viewers ko batata high ka 1970 descent on coins me say high jo harbar examine karn par kuch nei cheese reveal card dita high. Kabi ek tiny die scratch, kabi ek faint polishing line, kabi rim par ek microscopic dent, kabi letters me x slight tilt yichodi details high har coin ko ek unique biography dedi hain. Or jab koi collector run details ko dekta high, to a realize karta high ki sent ni America kapura era live deka high. Gas stations, diners, jukeboxes, school cafeterias, bus fares, comic books, telephone booths, sent on sab jagahan siguzra haga. Or a b ek velvet line binder me rest kar raha hoda high, ek collector ko treasure vault me, ISS final part me narrator ye be acknowledge karta high ko coin collecting ek hobby nahi, ek meditation hodi high. Jab koi bonda coin sword karta high, magnifying glass me grooves or fields examine karta high, to a apni daily stressasi door hojada high. Waek peaceful zone me enter hojada hai jahan surf silence, copper key shine or ek focused mind hoda hai. Ye hobby log on ko patience sakati hai, observation sakati hai, history sakati hai or value key philosophy sakati hai. Or 1970 decent Jace coins log on ko remind Cardi Hain kudanayami beauty hamesha badi cheese in me nahi hodi kabi kabi ekjod sa 3.11 gram kukopper disk me be puri history key poetry leaky hodi high narrator final emotional saturation kasoth keda high shayade kabi kabi sakti hoku ek old penny kais jishi kaliya priceless so sakta high. Like an agar apnis video kashurawat selekar abtak kasafarmas kia, to shayade api samage gay hunt kukoin key real value surf metal me nahi hodi, bakias kahani me hodi high joe would carry karta high. Us whack me hodi high joe or represent karta high. Us passion me hodi high joe collectors uski liya apni dilni rockti hain. Or final lines me narrator slow, deep, or sentimental voice me bolta high 1970 descent, ek kodesikaper katukta, lekanan logon kuliya joe uski kahani ko samaj hain, wa ek puri denaya kabarabar hoda high. Or jab ap agal bar ek coin hothmi eutheo, shade ap uski surface kuneche chupi ek puris indagi ko dexeko. Kyung har sent, har coin, ek kahani hoda high. Or ISS kahani ka safar, yahan kadam nahi hoda. You surf shuruwat hodi high fade out, soft background music slow hojada high, screen dark hodi high, or video quietly and hojada high.